According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA, greenhouse gases trap heat and make the planet warmer. Does the Earth have cyclical temperature swings? Yes. The EPA, however, states that human activities are responsible for almost all of the increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere over the past 150 years. You may be thinking, good, I hate the cold. I'm glad the planet is getting warmer. However, just small changes in the world's average temperature can have dramatic results. Hurricanes and other storms are likely to become stronger, causing death and destruction. Floods and droughts may become more common, diseases may spread more easily, species such as polar bears may become extinct. And maybe you're thinking, good, I hate polar bears. But hear me out. Whether or not you think of global warming as man made or not, I think we can all agree that walking into a wall of pollution when you walk out of your house is terrible. Seeing trash everywhere or being poisoned by toxic chemicals leaking into your water is also terrible. So, what can we do to better protect the earth? Consumerism, reduce it. The production, processing, and consumption of commodities requires a lot of natural resources: wood, ore, fossil fuels, water, and it requires factories and factory complexes whose operations create toxic byproducts. So when we buy a lot of stuff, such as clothes, furniture, bigger houses, bigger cars, decorations, every toy imaginable, etc., we cause large reductions in natural resources and large increases in toxic byproducts. So, some ways you can reduce consumerism is to buy less clothes, fewer pairs of shoes, less jewelry. Things like I've been using these disposable wash rags. Well, I'm going to switch once this one is gone and dead. I'm going to switch and start using reusable washcloths again. You don't have to flush your toilet every time you go number one. Maybe only flush it every couple times or go in the shower. Just some ideas. Eat less meat. Industrial farming practices are unsafe for the planet. Factory farming produces a lot of air and water pollution. Meat production, especially in mass-produced beef, is extremely resource intensive. The majority of the deforestation across the Amazon is due to cattle ranching. Producing just one hamburger uses enough fossil fuel to drive a small car for 20 miles. Even if you cut out meat for one meal a day or one day a week, you'll be making a big difference. Buy a Tesla. I love Teslas. I know we can't afford Teslas, but we can drive less, carpool more, use public transportation as often as possible, buy electric or hybrid vehicles if you can. Another harm to the environment is plastic. Did you know that 5.25 trillion pieces of plastic debris exists in the ocean? And that 269,000 tons of that float on the surface? Chemicals added to plastics are sometimes absorbed by human bodies. Some of these compounds have been found to alter hormones or have other potential human health effects. Plastic debris laced with chemicals and often ingested by marine animals can injure or even kill them. Plastic buried deep in landfills can leach harmful chemicals that spread into groundwater. So, some ways to minimize your plastic intake: use reusable bags at the grocery store. Don't put your fruit and vegetables in those little plastic bags at the grocery store unless you need to. So the bags that you pull off the roll and you put all your apples in, or you put your celery in or broccoli. If you don't need to use a plastic bag for those, just put those in your cart and then put them on the conveyor belt. You don't need to use those plastic baggies. Don't buy disposable plastic water bottles. Use reusable water bottles and cups as often as you can. Say no thank you to straws at restaurants. You don't need a straw. We don't need straws. We use so many straws. Instead of using plastic baggies to hold your food, your lunches, things like that, try using reusable containers. Now, I know these are still plastic, but at least you can use them over and over and over and over again instead of these one-use baggies. There's so many things we can do. Buy meat and produce locally. Try to buy things from the store instead of using Amazon Prime. I know. I hope that today I've given you a few ideas for how you can begin to help the environment.